In the serene landscapes of Switzerland, a successful model and mentor, Kristina Joksimovic, seemed to have it all: a flourishing career, a beautiful family, and a promising future. But beneath the surface of her picture-perfect life lay a dark and twisted reality that would shock the nation. When Kristina vanished without a trace, her family's desperate search led to a gruesome discovery that no one saw coming. Welcome back to Chilling Fireside Stories, where we explore cases that need to be told. Before I begin, it's important to mention that this case involves deeply distressing details. However, I always strive to tell these stories with the utmost respect for the victims and their loved ones. My goal is to present the facts in a way that is easier for the viewers to process while remaining truthful to the case. Some stories are difficult to hear, and while I do not shy away from the truth, I will tone down or omit extremely graphic elements to ensure that this documentary remains respectful and accessible. Now, settle in and let's begin. Kristina Joksimovic was born on April 15, 1985, in Switzerland. Her parents were originally from Serbia. From a young age, Kristina exhibited a remarkable talent for modeling. Her captivating beauty and striking figure quickly garnered attention, leading her to pursue a career in the fashion industry. In 2003, she was crowned Miss Northwest Switzerland, and by 2008, she was a finalist in the Miss Switzerland pageant, solidifying her status as one of the nation's rising beauty icons. Following her success, Kristina began mentoring aspiring young models, imparting essential skills such as runway techniques. Later on, she established her own coaching agency, Catwalk Coach, based in Basel. Among her notable protégés was Dominique Rinderknecht, Miss Switzerland 2013, whom Kristina helped prepare for the Miss Universe competition. Kristina's expertise and dedication made her a respected figure in the modeling world. Embracing digital platforms, Kristina shared educational content through YouTube, and those who knew her described her as energetic, ambitious, and deeply committed to empowering women. She balanced multiple passions and professions, including a successful career as an IT recruiter from 2013 to 2017, working for high-profile companies. Kristina Joksimovic achieved significant success at a young age, with ambitious plans for the future, including marriage and starting a family. In her professional life, she met Mark Reban, a businessman 3 years her senior. Kristina believed Mark was her life partner. He hailed from a wealthy and influential family and was a handsome entrepreneur who had built his own business. By 2022, he owned a consulting firm. Together, Kristina and Mark seemed to form the perfect couple. Initially, Kristina's family had reservations about their relationship, feeling that the two didn't complement each other. Kristina was outgoing, cheerful, and always smiling, while Mark was more introverted, often critical, and occasionally seemed arrogant. Despite these differences, the couple married in September 2017. In 2020, they welcomed their first daughter, followed by a second daughter in 2021. The family lived in a beautiful house in Kristina's hometown of Binningen, near Basel, Switzerland. In the early years of their marriage, Mark appeared to be the ideal husband, treating Kristina like a queen. Their family life seemed like a dream come true, with successful careers, a beautiful home, and healthy, beautiful children. Mark was also a devoted father, even volunteering to lead a local scout group. During this time, Kristina frequently posted pictures of their family on Instagram, and their friends considered their marriage perfect. However, by 2023, the seemingly flawless image began to show cracks. Kristina, now 38 and Mark 41, began experiencing growing conflicts that friends and family started to notice. On July 14, 2023, the police were called to their home following an incident of domestic violence, signaling the beginning of a dramatic and tragic turn in their story. During a conversation with a friend, Kristina revealed that Mark had used violence and threatened her, warning that if she called the police, she would face severe consequences. Despite her fear, Kristina bravely contacted the authorities. Gradually, the truth about their tumultuous relationship began to surface. Mark was far from the perfect partner he portrayed himself to be. Despite the turmoil, Kristina continued to post pictures on social media, depicting a seemingly happy family life. On Instagram, photos from what appeared to be an idyllic romantic getaway by Lake Lucerne showed Kristina and Mark looking deeply in love. However, the reality was starkly different. During the trip, Mark expressed his eagerness to argue, so he could return home to their daughters. At dinner, he insulted other couples at the hotel, and when Kristina asked him to stop, he left her alone, embarrassed and humiliated. These incidents became more frequent, but Kristina kept them hidden from her loved ones. In February 2024, Kristina's parents grew worried when they couldn't reach her for several days. Kristina was always in close contact with her family, so her sudden silence was alarming. Her father received a call from the preschool, informing him that Kristina hadn't picked up her children. He immediately contacted Mark, who claimed he had also lost contact with her and suggested she might have disappeared as she had done before. Kristina's father decided to pick up his grandchildren and took them home, hoping Kristina would return soon. As days passed without any word from her, Kristina's parents became increasingly concerned. They visited her house again, searching for any clues. Mark's calm demeanor and insistence that Kristina's disappearances were normal only heightened their suspicions. On February 13th, Kristina's father returned to the house, spending time with his grandchildren and Mark, who continued to claim ignorance about Kristina's whereabouts. Before leaving, Kristina's father decided to check the shed near the house. Inside, he found a bag of trash. Driven by a sense of unease, decided to look inside. To his horror, he discovered the severed head of his beloved daughter. Terrified, he ran into the street, stopping the first car he saw and calling the police. The arriving officers were unprepared for the gruesome scene. It was clear that Kristina Joksimovic had been murdered. The investigation revealed that Kristina had been strangled before her body was dismembered using various tools. One of the most unsettling details was that some of her remains had been blended, and the perpetrator had attempted to dissolve the remains. Kristina's body showed clear signs of trauma, including injuries inflicted before her death. She had wounds on her face and several bruises on her thigh. Her head was significantly injured. As I mentioned earlier, I will refrain from providing graphic details, but the brutality suggested a potential mental disorder or a deep-seated fixation on or hatred of women. Naturally, suspicion fell on Kristina's husband, Mark. His behavior since her disappearance had been suspicious. When arrested, he showed no emotion and even told his father-in-law that if he had left the house sooner, the discovery would never have been made. During questioning, Mark quickly admitted to treating Kristina's body in such a brutal manner. He claimed that he found her unconscious at the bottom of the stairs and, upon realizing she was dead, he panicked. Fearing wrongful accusation, he decided to dispose of the evidence and stage her disappearance. However, this version of events seemed implausible. The forensic pathologist's findings contradicted Mark's story, revealing that Kristina had died from strangulation. Confronted with overwhelming evidence, Mark changed his story, claiming he acted in self-defense during an intense argument where Kristina allegedly attacked him with a knife. He explained his actions as being driven by shock and emotions, leading him to act irrationally. The facts didn't support his claims. For instance, the blender used to handle the remains had been purchased shortly before the crime, suggesting premeditation. Mark's phone records showed he was watching YouTube videos while trying to erase traces of his crime, behavior inconsistent with someone in shock. A psychiatric examination revealed Mark exhibited sadistic and sociopathic traits, with a low capacity for empathy and emotional intelligence. Experts concluded that he posed a threat to everyone around him, including his own children. The prosecution emphasized that the methods and tools Mark used indicated premeditation and a calculated approach. His actions were overly complicated, revealing a deeply disturbed mental state. The news of Kristina's murder shocked the country, and many details of the case were kept secret during the investigation, and Mark was referred to as Thomas in official circles to maintain confidentiality. Mark's behavior and the evidence against him painted a chilling picture of a man capable of extreme violence against someone he claimed to love. Hatred for his wife drove Mark to actions requiring hours of effort and physical exertion. Such behavior indicated an absence of emotions and strong sociopathic tendencies. Investigators reviewed a police report from a few months before Kristina's murder revealed that Mark had physically assaulted her, including choking and causing head injuries. A former partner also testified to Mark's violent behavior, recounting instances where he ran over her foot with his car and threatened to throw her out of a moving vehicle. Testimonies from Kristina's closest friends shed light on the deteriorating relationship. After the birth of their children, Kristina confided that things had worsened. Friends assumed it was a rough patch due to lifestyle changes, unaware of the severity. Mark had become distant, frequently missing or leaving therapy sessions early, and had started using substances. Planning to divorce, Kristina consulted a lawyer and was warned to be cautious due to Mark's violent behavior and influential family. Mark's obsession with appearances was apparent, treating his daughters like projects and imposing unrealistic expectations. Kristina's increasing openness about her struggles highlighted the dire situation. Friends blamed themselves for not recognizing her cries for help sooner. After Kristina's death, Mark was arrested and their young daughters were placed in Kristina's family's care. The children, aged 4 and 3, had their world turned upside down, losing both parents and struggling to understand the situation. Child psychologists explained their mother's absence gently, but as they grow, they will face the challenging reality of her death. Mark's defense attorneys planned to argue insanity. Under Swiss law, manslaughter could mean just 3 years in prison, while premeditated murder could lead to up to 20 years. Concerns arose that Mark's manipulative nature could lead to an early release based on good behavior. Despite Mark's request for release pending trial in September 2024 being rejected, the trial date remains unset and the case continues without a verdict. It is truly terrifying to think that, despite appearances, despite a successful career, the image of a devoted husband and a seemingly perfect life, someone could hide such darkness within. That behind the mask of a respectable man was a predator, a manipulator, a psychopath capable of the most unimaginable cruelty toward the mother of his children. It is chilling to realize how far he was willing to go, and even more devastating to know that Kristina, full of life, love, and dreams, was trapped in his twisted world. I did my best to tell her story in a way that would be bearable for my community, but the truth remains unbearably cruel. And now, the questions linger. Were there red flags Kristina could have seen? Were there warning signs she should have taken more seriously? Or was she simply unable to recognize the danger until it was too late? He came from a powerful family. He used his influence, his status, and his wealth to control her. He made her feel as though she had no way out, that leaving him would mean losing everything. What could her friends have done to help her? Were there moments when they could have stepped in, supported her, reassured her that she wasn't alone? Kristina even reached out to the authorities. She sought help. She tried to escape, but not much was done to protect her. And that raises yet another painful question. What should the system have done differently? How could the authorities have prevented this tragedy? The truth is, Kristina should still be here today. She should have been protected. She should have been heard. She should have been saved. If you or someone you know ever feels unsafe, please don't hesitate to seek help. Your life matters, and you deserve to be safe. I always leave the necessary support contacts and organizations from different countries in my posts. Please seek help, seek refuge. But most importantly, as soon as you see the first signs of abuse, leave. Your safety is everything. And always remember, love should never hurt. Thank you for watching Chilling Fireside Stories. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can continue to share the stories that need to be told. Until next time, stay safe and look after your loved ones.